I am Nick Shell, the living legend of hair loss. That is a fact. It's not an opinion. It is a fact. You can look that up on the internet. It will be confirmed. It will be verified. Now, man, I gotta say this. I have made over 2,700 videos about men's hair loss, which I hold the world record for. No other YouTuber comes close to that. And out of all of those videos, I gotta say that one of the strangest titles for any of those videos is the one that you're watching. I didn't even understand what any of that even meant until I received this comment. So let's go ahead and dive in. This is new stuff. I'm definitely having trouble comprehending this. So here's the deal. I made a video called American Christian Culture Allows Gossip and Gluttony, ... So if you haven't seen that video, I think it's pretty interesting, pretty engaging, and I think good commentary on American culture. How in Christian culture, certain things that most Christians don't seem to really, that apply to them, those are the things that are seen as the real sins, and meanwhile, things like gluttony and gossip is just overlooked. I think that's important and relevant. I think it was a conversation we're starting. But this cropped up in the comment section, so let's check it out. Someone that I'm going to call Gaycope left this comment, quote, "What do you think of incels that become gay out of necessity? I've seen some of them refer to it as Gaycope. They do it because it's easier to get with a guy than a girl." To which I replied to that, and I said, quote, "It logically makes sense. I have made a video about it before. I'm surprised it's not more common," end quote. So he said, please provide the link so I can find it. I said, you know what, it'll be easier just to make a new video, because out of 2,700 videos. Now I will say that last summer I made this whole series, and there was like 20 videos in which it was Would You Rather Hair Loss Edition. And one of those videos was, would you rather basically choose to become gay even though you're not for the rest of your life, but you get to keep a perfect head of hair? So even though you're physically attracted to females, you could never act on it again, and you could only act that out with men whom by default you're not attracted to because you're not gay. You would force yourself to become gay, but this really demented genie grants you the wish of perfect head of hair for life, no receding, no diffuse thinning, but now you have to choose to be gay. It's not that suddenly, bam, okay, now I'm attracted to men. It's, nope, I'm not attracted to men, I'm attracted to women, and I can only act things out on other guys. So I made that video before I even knew what Gaycope was. So now we're gonna explore this concept, see, I'm really struggling to even comprehend that a guy who is not attracted to men would even be able to do that. Like, not only that, but specifically just the arrangements of this. Like, I'm trying to process this right now, the arrangements. Okay, so this guy believes that because he's balding young, he's prematurely balding, and he's like, you know what, there's just no way women will find me attractive because I'm way too young to be this bald. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get with guys instead. So then, like, what, you go on like an app on your phone, it's like Incel Gay Grinder, I don't know what the app is, whatever, however like the logistics of this, how you even plan this. And then like, hey, I think I'm too ugly for females to be attracted to me because I've lost too much hair. And then the guys, well, I'm too ugly for women because of this reason. And they're like, okay, well, I guess I'll meet you at the place at 6 o'clock. I mean, it's really a strange concept that a man would be so convinced in his mind that no woman would physically want him that he would do that. And as I've made videos before about incels, I made a video not too long ago where it said, I was saying that yes, ugly men do exist, but not all are incels. So just because you have some kind of physical trait that you perceive as ugly and therefore makes you unattractive, it doesn't mean that no woman will have you. And I can give many examples of that, but a true incel will instantly give a reason why he's the exception to the rule. So you'd have to truly be an incel to be in this situation. And when I say incel, here's how I define it. A man who is convinced in his mind that he's too ugly for a woman to be physically attracted to him. In his mind, he believes it. Because what is one, if I were ever popular enough as a YouTuber to start, doing merchandising and have my own t-shirts, one of them would say, anything you believe is true, ... in your mind. And see, incels are convinced of this. And I've learned in the years of making these, most recently in 2019, and it actually required me to take a 3-month sabbatical, which I thought was no more hairless videos, to really comprehend that, Nick, you can help some people. You can help a lot of guys psychologically overcome hair loss, but you're never going to be able to help an incel because they're already convinced they can't be helped. So I accept that now. But now as an outsider, I'm still trying to understand the mindset and the concept of an incel, that they're so dedicated to this mindset and so trapped in their own prison that they would become a Gaycope incel, if that's the right terminology, which is, again, what strange words to put in a title. Hair loss, Gaycope incel. Like, what does that even mean? Like, imagine somebody from the past, like, watching this video. Like, how would that even happen? How would somebody like from the 70s or 80s watch a video from the future? They'd have to get in a time machine, travel to the future, get this video, and then they would really be confused when I said hair loss, Gaycope incel. So, okay, so if you were an incel to that degree, and you were so committed to that belief system that you would actually do that. Like, for me, I'm thinking, okay, part of the reason why guys care so much about their hair loss or fear of it is because they want females to like them. So it's like, well, that's your worst fear, is that females won't be attracted to you and that sort of thing. So, well, at that point, you're truly giving up everything that actually inspires you to have hair to begin with. So, okay, this is me still trying to work this out, that a guy could even do this. So here's what it reminds me of. I have no shame in admitting that still my favorite comedian is Louis C.K. And he has a special called Hilarious, which I've seen many times, and he talks about the concept. He's saying he was at a coffee shop, he heard these two very boring white straight guys talking, and one guy says to the other, by the way, I saw Elizabeth the other day. And then the white guy, boring white guy, says, well, that's hilarious. And the whole bit was, there's nothing hilarious. What he should have just said was, I saw Elizabeth today. And then the other guy should have said, that happened. Like, because it was boring, it wasn't interesting, it wasn't hilarious. And then he goes on to describe what would be hilarious is if those two very white straight men basically committed a Gaycope right there in the coffee shop. That was the whole joke, and it actually, the special was named after that bit. And so that was my first introduction, I guess, to the concept of Gaycope. So there you go. Here's your video about that. That's my response to that. I just feel that ultimately what we're looking at here is, and I think that those of us who are not incels just need to like say this out loud and acknowledge this, that this is not normal. It's not. It takes someone who has mental issues to be so depraved in their mind that they think that their outward appearance, especially if they're relating it to hair loss, that, oh, I'm 21, I'm bald, I'm pale, no one will ever love me. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other 21-year-old guys, no hair on top, they shave it, they work out, they learn to, like I do, the act of pretending that you're confident even when you're not. I tell you, my life motto is, I'm Mr. Fake It Till You Make It. People cannot perceive the difference between real and fake confidence, and I made a joke video about that, actually, wearing these sunglasses, where I pretended to hypnotize viewers into thinking that they had enough confidence to, as if they had a full head of hair that they always wanted. A complete joke. It was a 7-minute video, and I just made it up on the spot. But the whole point was, the whole joke actually was this. if you could be hypnotized into believing you had enough confidence of a man with full head of hair, then it was just as good as having a full head of hair in theory, as long as you had the right level of confidence. The thing is, confidence can be so artificially created because I artificially create it all the time. That's a weird thing to say out loud, but this is a weird video. So yes, I have got where I am in life today by making people think I'm confident in what I'm doing. And often if you simply describe what you're doing as you're doing it, people will be convinced that you know what you're doing and you're talking about. AKA this whole channel. This is one of the most popular hair loss channels in the world, and yet I don't actually really know anything about hair loss. It's so funny when people say, well, you're a hair loss expert, you're supposed to know this, but you claim it. I'm like, dude, I'm just a guy on YouTube. I'm an entertainer and nothing more. But maybe I am something more because I am helping people psychologically unpack this concept of hair loss. Because I think it is important, if you do care about hair loss, or the fear of it, you have to ask yourself, how much do I care? Do I care Gaycope Incel enough? The answer is likely no. And if the answer is yes, then you're probably an incel. And what that means, Nick Shell defines that as, in your mind, you're convinced that you're too ugly for females. Meanwhile, people just as ugly as you, they're not having the trouble with the ladies. And maybe your standards are a little too high as far as the females go. But, and I mean, I'm just thinking too, every action and equal reaction, all that whole saying. So is that to say that there are not females, quote, just as ugly as the male incels? I cannot believe that there would, so it's fun. The mind of the gay incel is, no woman will have me, so let me find a guy that's equally as ugly and desperate. Why not say, I perceive that I'm ugly as a male, and I realize that in a whole world of 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, maybe I'm a number 2. Well, I don't mean that like a poop joke. I just mean I'm a number 1, number 2. I'm low on the chain here. So therefore, instead of finding a gay, instead of finding a straight guy who would go gay for me, why don't I just choose a woman who is on the same meter as me in the looks department? It seems that that's a much more rational decision than forcing yourself to be gay. I mean, I feel like I'm speaking too much logic in this. I mean, a 13-minute video should not exist about this topic, right? Especially one that people are actually going to watch all the way through and like think this out through with me. It shouldn't be done. But I just did it. There you go. There's my response. Gaycope incel, why wouldn't you just find a female that you perceive as ugly as you? Because, and notice I'm using the word perceive. All right. I have a feeling there might be a spin-off of this video. Okay, there's your 13 minutes. Now, go ahead and leave that comment right here.